Good morning, everyone. Still setting up.
My number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry.
It is almost showtime. I've got a bit of a cold.
You may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term benefits. Call Attorney Barry Siegel with the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and
I'll be right back, guys. I got to get something to blow my nose. I got to play another commercial to do it.
855-FLA-3782.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've got a cold, and I don't know what happened. My nose just started running right there, so this is the closest thing I could find out of the...
Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes.
All right, here we go.
They'll provide you with the extra width and extra...
But the show must go on.
Diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060
That's right, guys.
or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show.
That was rough.
The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
Hey, guys. Welcome. It's Monday morning. We are here live. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. And in case you haven't noticed, this is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere on the planet Earth. I promise you that. A lot of craziness has been happening with so-called MAGA people over the weekend. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to play some audio, and I want to hear your comments on this. Alex Jones and Candace Owens have gone rogue against President Trump. You heard me right. Candace Owens and Alex Jones attacking President Trump, saying terrible things about President Trump. I'm going to play you the audio of both in just a moment, and I do want to take your calls on this. I'm also going to tell you we are here live. I have a cold, and it's not the worst cold I've ever had, but I've had a cold. I don't know if this is day 3, 4. Let's see if I include Friday. And on Friday's show, I was feeling under the weather, knew a cold was coming on, and I did get COVID tested, by the way, and it was negative, just so you know. Anytime you got a runny nose, everyone's yelling COVID. I got a COVID test because, big family weekend, and wanted to make sure, and so I don't have COVID. I have a cold, and it's not really that bad of a cold, but broadcasting for 3 hours with a cold can be difficult, and I don't know if I sound like I have a cold or not. It's hard for me to tell, but if you hear me under the weather, I just want to tell everyone. I'll probably have to do about a disclaimer an hour on that. All right, our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Okay, this past week, Candace Owens interviewed President Trump, and then after the interview, Candace Owens took to Instagram and attacked President Trump. And then on Christmas, Alex Jones did the same. And I'm very upset about this. I really am. I am, I will never disagree with President Trump, publicly or privately. I will support everything that President Trump says and does. I've said that for years. A lot of people give me a hard time over that. They say, well, if you're going to lose credibility. You've got to attack Trump every once in a while. You got to publicly disagree with him every once in a while. I remember Savage, when he was on the radio, would do this, right? Like every other Tuesday or something, he'd have to do a whole show ranting against something Trump to maintain his credibility. Here's the deal. President Trump has a master plan to retake the House of Representatives, the United States Senate, bringing us a red wave in the midterm elections, leading us to 2024. He sees a big picture, and he's got a lot of things going on. Right now, President Trump, obviously he's focused on those things I just said, and he's also focused in on governors as well, and draining the swamp from these rhinos, Republicans in name only. I like to call them rats, Republicans against Trump, right? The Liz Cheney, George W. Bush's, Mitt Romney types. And what President Trump does not need is division among MAGA. And, well, let me start with Candace Owens, and then we'll get into the Alex Jones, because both of them are just, I found the comments made by Candace Owens and Alex Jones so far over the line. It's beyond just disagreeing with him on an issue. What they said was incredibly nasty. Let's start with Candace Owens. I'm going to play it uninterrupted, and then I'll go back through it. This is Candace Owens. Now remember, she interviewed President Trump. This was this clip here is Candace Owens after her interview with President Trump. This is after she interviewed President Trump. She took to Instagram. Here's Candace Owens.
And he believes that because he comes from a generation, like people, you oftentimes forget like how old Trump is. He comes from a generation. I've seen other people that are older have the exact same perspective. Like they came from a time before TV, before internet, before being able to conduct their independent research, and everything that they read in a newspaper that was pitched to them, like they believed that was a reality. And one of those things was, this push for vaccines and believing that people were going to die without vaccines. And so I believe that his support of the vaccine is genuine and it's not based in any corruption at all. I think he actually believes those things. And people that are saying, how is he ignoring all the people that are being injured? And, people are sending Rumble videos and all of these, websites, obscure websites. I believe also that he only reads the mainstream media news. Believe it or not, I do not believe that Trump reads or partakes in any other news sources. I don't believe that Trump is on the internet or, that he necessarily uses the web to try to find, obscure websites. I think that he just relies on, typical mainstream sources. So I don't think that there's anything evil going on there. I just wanted to say that because so many donors, supporters of his are kind of like questioning where all of this is coming from. And I think he just genuinely believes that. And he needs to sit down and, have a full conversation with someone. I was interviewing him in that circumstance, but he needs to have a larger conversation to really understand what's going on and why so many people are just horrified.
Okay. So there you go. That's Candace Owens. President Trump needs to sit down with her to understand what's really going on out there. Now, I've said this for a long time. Never trust a never-Trumper. Candace Owens was a never-Trumper. She was a never-Trumper in the first campaign. Then she was red-pilled and all of a sudden became famous because of this red-pill Trump support. And there's been a lot of never-Trumpers out there that were very high-profile back in those days. Some of them have come around. Mark Levin was a never-Trumper. And he woke up and President Trump approves of him. Ben Shapiro, a never-Trumper. Glenn Beck was a never-Trumper. A lot of never-Trumpers have pretended to like Trump, but they still hate him. And when there's a never-Trumper like Mark Levin, I like Mark Levin. President Trump likes Mark Levin. I'm always cautious with never-Trumpers. Never trust a never-Trumper. And this is a textbook example of that. Candace Owens is one of the most famous women in America today. Why? Because of President Trump. You know, before she was red-pilled and became a MAGA person and she was anti-Trump, nobody heard of her. I think she was on Periscope. And when she came out as a supporter of Trump and also being a black woman, all of a sudden she became a superstar. Everything Candace Owens has career-wise today is because of President Trump. Okay? And, you know, when I was very troubled when Candace Owens went to work for Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro is a big never-Trumper. In fact, Ben Shapiro, I heard him say on his podcast during the Stormy Daniels lie that he believes Stormy Daniels. Can you believe? Takes the word of an adult film actress, in quotation marks, over that of President Trump. And Ben Shapiro wrote a column in the first campaign when President Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, why I will never vote for Donald Trump. And when Candace Owens, who's been very close with Trump for many years, you know, she was with Charlie Kirk with Turning Point, she did her own thing. And when she went to work for Ben Shapiro, I had said at the time, I said, this is a big problem. Because Candace Owens, now this was before the COVID, okay, pandemic. Candace Owens had this nationwide Blexit tour. And she was going to go, Blexit taken off of Brexit, blacks leaving the Democrat Party, the black exit, Blexit. And it was going to be a nationwide tour. In fact, I was going to the first one, which was here in South Florida in Fort Lauderdale with my daughter. I had an opportunity to meet Candace Owens, and I wanted my daughter to meet Candace Owens. We didn't go because COVID hit, and it stopped that. And I was upset about it, but when Candace Owens went to work for Ben Shapiro, I said on the show here, I said on the air many times, this is a big problem. And I believe that Ben Shapiro and the never-Trumpers around him are hiring away Candace Owens because she's so important to MAGA. She's so important to the Trump movement, and they've brought her over there to sideline her and make her someone working for them. And boom, here we go. Here we go. Not only that, you know, I don't know what this is all about. I don't know. I didn't really care for the interview she did with President Trump that before this. I talked about this. I'm not sure if I talked about it on the radio last week or just on my podcast. But I had talked about how Candace Owens, she had picked up a very negative trait from Ben Shapiro. That's the talking really super fast. Real fast like an auctioneer. She is, apologize guys, I do have a cold, so if you hear any funny noises or anything, that's the cold. She's starting to talk fast like Ben Shapiro, and what I didn't care for in the interview that Candace Owens did with President Trump is she kept interrupting him, which I didn't care for. I thought it was very disrespectful. I did not like that. But then she went and did this rant video attacking him. And this is beyond just disagreeing with him. She talked about him as if, like you would talk about Joe Biden. Now, I'm going to take the first break of the week. We'll come back. I'll get more into the Candace Owens. We will get into the Alex Jones attack on President Trump as well. I'm very upset about this. We need to stand strong and stand united, MAGA. All right? We don't need this. I'd also like to take your calls and hear your thoughts on all that we're talking about at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. 1-888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back after this.
Brian Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to change your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, and goes, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow, well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have
Steve Kane Show.
auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack, they're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener to the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the good story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Holes.
Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. 20 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Candace Owens, Alex Jones have gone on terrible attacks against our great president, Donald Trump. We're talking about that. I'm going to take some calls on this. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Vermont, Janet.
Janet in Vermont. What's up?
I agree with Brian and Kathy about Candace Owens should have been a lot more respectful and she could have handled it better. But I actually agree with Candace Owens that these vaccines, there's some real concerns about.
No. That's not what the topic is, okay? And let me clarify this. Excuse me. Let me just clarify what's going on here. Okay, hold on. Let me take this Halls out of my mouth. I apologize, guys. Steve told me to take today off. I said, no, let's, there's too much news going on. I can't take the day off, so I'm struggling through. Okay. This is not about the vaccines, okay? What they're doing here is, I believe what Candace Owens is doing with Alex Jones are trying to, be trending on the Twitter and get hits and clicks and views. And also, Candace works for Never Trump or Ben Shapiro. President Trump has not changed his position. He is, and even in the Candace Owens interview, he said it should be an individual choice. He is opposed to the mandates. So this isn't about the vaccines. There's no division in MAGA. There's no division in MAGA. The MAGA position, which is the Trump position, is opposition to mandates. And what people are doing is confusing two issues, okay? They're confusing two issues, and that's that. And the way Candace Owens she owes President Trump a very, very public apology. President Trump's position has not changed. Okay, he said from day one, vaccines are an individual choice, and he is opposed to mandates. Why is this all of a sudden something that she's got to go on and condemn? In very nasty ways.
Yeah, I think you're right. Her husband owns that. I can't remember what it was.
Parlor.
Right. I think it's part that, and I do think there's also people who want to break MAGA up. I'm MAGA strong as long as he goes. There's no man.
Well, wait a second. First off, people that are MAGA should not be laying down the law to President Trump, okay? President Trump's position has been the same since day one. Since so there's the change has been with these Never Trumpers coming out. Yesterday, Smirkanish on CNN over the weekend, his lead story is President Trump out of touch with his base. Don't you understand what they're doing? And I'll give you an example of what I mean of commingling two issues, the vaccines and the mandates. Steve and I were talking about this last week. Kamala Harris, in her first debate, she's a real lowlife, like Joe Biden, but in the first debate she had with Joe Biden, she was confusing two separate issues, busing and segregation. And she was saying that Joe Biden and anyone who was opposed to busing was a segregationist in the 1970s. That's not the case, okay? But Biden's a racist, don't misunderstand me. And I'm not defending Biden, but people like me, like the house I live in, when my wife and I went to look for a house when my daughter, before she started school, it wasn't the best deal and it wasn't the best house, but it had the best schools. And we picked our house based on the schools. And with busing, they would bus a kid 30, 40, 50 minutes away from home to go to another school when there was a school right down the street. So there was what Kamala was doing was confusing busing and segregation. They're totally, completely different issues. Vaccines and mandates are two different issues. And what Candace is doing is commingling them into one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're trying to divide the party.
Well, I think they're being effective at it. Because you even said, I'm with Trump as long as... What do you mean? You're with Trump as long as? You know, President Trump's position hasn't changed at all.
I know that. I actually do know that. I'm just always saying, because one thing I am... Okay, let me just say, I'm disappointed that people are not talking about the safety. There is...
Well, that's why it's see, I don't want to even get sidetracked on that, because once you start talking about that, you're in bed with Alex Jones and Candace Owens attacking President Trump.
No, I'm not attacking. I do support him. He's been the best thing for our movement, for sure. I mean, he actually has I don't want to say, he's strong enough to put up with a lot of stuff. So, I mean, he has. The only other person I like is DeSantis.
Yeah, he's number 2.
After.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, Vermont, take care for the call. Let me go through this a little slower now. I played it uninterrupted the first time, but I want to go through this Candace Owens nasty attack on President Trump. Listen.
And he believes that because he comes from a generation, like people, you oftentimes forget like how old Trump is. He comes from a generation, I've seen other people that are older have the exact same perspective. Like they came from a time before TV, before internet.
Before internet. Okay, he came from a time before TV. That is not true. Okay, President Trump was born in 1946. In 1946, televisions were already in people's homes. And he grew up during the golden age of television. She says people don't realize how old he is. She's calling him old, and he was born before the internet. Well, let me tell you something. I was born before the internet. I was doing this show before there was the internet. If you're born before the internet, you're not as wise as Candace. She's calling him old, out of touch, and uninformed. She's talking about him like you would talk about Joe Biden. This is beyond disrespectful. This is just nasty.
Sometimes forget like how old Trump is. He comes from a generation, I've seen other people.
I think what we forget is how young she is. And my wife told me this over the weekend. Candace Owens here, she sounds like AOC.
Other people that are older have the exact same perspective. Like they came from a time before TV, before internet, before being able to conduct their independent research, and everything that they read
VW, $5 super chat, thank you.
That was pitched to them.
Candace installed an entire generation.
That was a reality.
Yeah.
And one of those things was, this push for vaccines and believing that people were going to die without vaccines. And so I believe that his support of the vaccine is genuine and it's not based in any corruption.
Oh, well, I'm glad. Oh, it's not based on... Candace Owens told us she doesn't think President Trump's positions are based on any corruptions. That implies that people thought he was corrupt. What the hell? She says he's old. He's not informed. He was born before the internet. And he's not based on corruption. Who's saying that he's corrupt? How dare she imply that President Trump is corrupt?
Corruption at all. I think he actually believes those things. And people that are saying, how is he ignoring all the people that are being injured? And, people are sending Rumble videos and all of these, websites, obscure websites. I believe also that he only reads the mainstream media news.
Wow. I believe he only reads the mainstream media news. Wow. So he's old. He's uninformed. He's reading the wrong news. Oh, and by the way, no, I don't think this is based on corruption. Oh, gee whiz.
Believe it or not, I do not believe that Trump reads or partakes in any other news sources.
Wow, I don't believe he partakes in any other news sources. This reminds me of when Katie Couric interviewed Sarah Palin. What do you read, Sarah Palin? Where do you get your worldview, Sarah Palin? My goodness.
I don't believe that Trump is on the internet or, that he necessarily uses, the web to try to find, obscure websites. I think that he just relies on, typical mainstream sources. So I don't think that there's anything evil going on there. I just wanted to say that because so many...
Oh, I don't think there's anything evil going on there. Are people implying that Trump has something evil going on with him?
Donors, supporters of his are kind of like questioning where all of this is coming from, and I think he just genuinely believes that, and he needs to sit down and have a full conversation with someone. I was interviewing him in that circumstance, but he needs to have a larger conversation to really understand what's going on and why so many people are just horrified.
Okay, horrified. Is anyone horrified over President Trump, who a week ago was not? I don't mean some liberal who's always horrified by Trump. Is there someone MAGA in this audience who's horrified by President Trump who wasn't a week ago? I'd like to hear you tell me about that. And she says he doesn't spend his time on the internet going to obscure websites. Let me tell you, President Trump is the most well-informed person ever to be president of the United States. He was president of the United States. He has the best sources. He doesn't sit around and comb the web in the middle of the night. He has the best sources and the best people coming to him, informing him. How dare she? I mean, this is really bad. I want to hear your thoughts on Candace Owens. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are we doing from Wisconsin?
Hey, Wisconsin Gary. How you doing, Wisconsin Gary?
For the snowstorm last night, 30 to 45 mile an hour for a 3-hour trip that took 4 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
Interesting, yeah. But to getting on here with this wannabe Candace, and in a way it's kind of shameful that you're mentioning her to an auctioneer. I don't think she'd be able to sell a piece of furniture as fast as those guys speak. But, President Trump was probably more informed as a person because he was like a lot of people, like me. I mean, I'm a boots on the ground kind of guy. I got to know what's happening with his businesses. He was always talking with employees on everything about his business. He was more well informed by talking to people. And, I wasn't around when the internet was around either, so that kind of mentions how old I am.
Well, Candace Owens thinks you were born before the internet, so, no opinions from you.
Yeah, right. But though since the internet's been around, I mean, I use it daily basis.
Well, here's the thing, Gary. Here's the thing that ticks me off about this, okay? It's not that she disagreed with Trump. This is America, and you can disagree. She said he's old, uninformed, reads outdated, inaccurate news sources, and that he's possibly corrupt. The thing she said about him sounds like Joe Biden.
Right. And I think, and I want everybody that's listening to this, look at the 4 years President Trump was in office. Whatever you guys hear, other than from Brian, look what President Trump did for accomplishments. He's got like 8, 10, 12 pages of accomplishments. Now look at Biden. How many good accomplishments has he done other than one? Steal basically 2020, I'll leave that as that, and disrupted our country. 2 accomplishments there. And the second accomplishment, not even worth calling it an accomplishment, but destroying the U.S. So if a lot of you guys think that President Trump is really that bad, and you're not going to vote for him because of what you hear from Candace Owens or any of these other rats, but I'm going to add to the rat, Republicans against Trump syndrome, so it sounds familiar. But, I mean, look what he's done for for 4 years. He will come back and do that again, all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it's not that she's disagreeing. If she was just disagreeing with Trump, I wouldn't even be talking about it. The things she said about him were just very, very low life, insulting. She's questioning. He doesn't read the right sources. He's old. People don't realize how old he is. I don't think this is based on corruption. I think it's legit. Really? I know Donald Trump is not corrupt. I don't have to go out and do disclaimers like, who is she talking to that thinks he's corrupt?
It's more people trying to discredit him for something to put that narrative out, in my opinion. Because, you know, it's going to be another 3 years yet before Trump gets back in office, and if people do enough damage, take a chip out of the tree, and sooner or later that tree just falls. But hopefully, you know, if you're mega strong and you believe in Donald Trump, no matter what, you should be sitting there standing next to him and not listen.
Well, what do you think? What do you think's going on with Candace Owens here? What do you think's going on?
Quite frankly, with Candace Owens, I think she's trying to sit there and with her and Shapiro, I think they're trying to discredit him as much as they can. Because like you've mentioned in the podcast, you know, everyone's coming after him with lawsuit this, lawsuit that, or indictment this, indictment that. They're trying to, I think, set somebody else up that's probably, if all these things pass with Donald Trump, and they try to push an indictment on him and he passes all that, he's going to trump all of them. It don't matter what it is. But I think they're trying to do that to discredit him as much as they can to probably get somebody else that's an establishment seasoned person.
Like Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, yes, exactly. Because they'd rather see him because they can buy him off or whatever else. But Donald Trump, ever since day one he was in there, he stood up for the country.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, President Trump, one thing you got to understand, too, about President Trump, he's going into a primary with all of with governors, House members, and people running for the United States Senate. He's going into primaries. So what he's got a major plan to drain the swamp of these rhinos. He's trying to primary people out of office. So we have MAGA people on the Republican ticket in the general election. Everything he says and does right now is looking at the primary process and primary elections to take back the Congress. And this is very destructive, I think, of Candace Owens. I don't know if it's self-destructive, but I believe she owes President Trump a very public apology.
And I think the other thing is with Candace Owens is because of her husband, and President Trump hasn't really been on Parler. I mean, I was on Parler. I can't even get back on it for some odd reason.
Yeah, me too.
I think there are a lot of people that own social media that were hoping President Trump would come on their social media. But what did the president do? He's making his own. And as far as I heard already, it's already worth $10 million, almost probably even more.
Yeah. So we've had 2 calls on this so far. Wisconsin Gary and Vermont earlier both said the same thing. Candace Owens' husband runs Parler. And now Trump's coming out with Truth Social, which is going to be online and available in a couple of months. And you're right, there's probably some Parler's not is not worth as much as it would have been if Trump didn't have his own platform. It was going to be the conservative alternative. So maybe she thought she was going to be the next Tex billionaires over Parler, and now Truth Social kind of undercut that. Hey Gary, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. Take care. All right, 37 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back right after this.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting.
Yeah, guys, call me. I am very sick today, and I got an hour and 22 minutes to go, or 2 hours and 22 minutes.
An estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you.
Yeah, me too, Beverly.
on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group.
I can't have the throat lozenge
Distribution of
when I'm on the air.
at
So.
the time of your passing. Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on radio. Just search for you.
Okay, so that's Candace Owens, and now Alex Jones did a very special Christmas message to tell people about his concerns with President Trump. Here's Alex Jones. I mean, this is awful. Here's Alex Jones has turned against President Trump. Here we go.
Is an emergency Christmas Day warning to President Trump. You are either completely ignorant about the so-called vaccine gene therapy that you help ramp Operation Warp Speed, or you're one of the most evil men who has ever lived.
Okay, wow. So Alex Jones says to President Trump, you were either ignorant or one of the most evil men who has ever lived. Is that more evil than Hitler and Stalin? I don't know what he means by that. That's Alex Jones. What's going on here? I don't know. Is this about clicks, views, and all of that? I don't know with Alex Jones. But I do know this, that someone who would say that, even if they don't mean it, that's so far over the line. Ignorant or one of the most evil men that have ever lived? It's MAGA strong, MAGA united. We need to stand firm and strong together. We're coming into the midterm elections. President Trump is trying to drain the swamp of fake Republican rhinos, Republicans in name only, rats, Republicans against Trump. Not just retake both houses of Congress, but retake it with MAGA Republicans in the House and the Senate. And we got this going on. I want to hear your thoughts on both. 1-888-GO-KANE-1, toll-free call. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Listen, you know what? I hear you keep on saying about, first of all, offer DeSantis. He should be our next president, period. But I hear you saying Trump is aiding all the candidates. What has he done?
Well, it hasn't started yet.
You said he is doing it. He's aiding them. So what has he done?
Well, he's already announced. He's already announced what he's doing, right? He's handpicking people to support during the primary process. And then after that, we'll go into the... We're not there yet. The process, it starts after the first of the year. You know this. It's going to start in February and March.
Anything. You're saying
No, that's not true at all. No, that is not true at all. He's been putting together an infrastructure. He's been investigating people. He's, deciding who to endorse and who not to endorse. He's also done some endorsements. Listen, you're not the host of the program. You're not going to walk me down a garden path. Stop talking about me. Stop talking. No, you have not. If you're going to sit there and make an argument that Trump isn't doing anything, please. No, you're off topic. We're talking about what excuse me. No. We're talking about Alex.
Like, you're better than me. You're better than others. You say you people. That's condescending. Tell me one thing.
Well, I'm sorry. No, excuse me. The topic is right now Candace Owens and Alex Jones. Not what you decide it to be. See, this is what's... And if you want to talk about the topic that I have on the table, You are welcome to. This is not open phones today. MAGA's under attack. And what they're attempting to do is divide us. And we're not going to let that happen. And we're going to talk about it when it does happen. Everyone knows Mitt Romney's a rhino, but you know what? There's a lot of other people out there too. There's a lot of fake MAGA out there. Okay? And we're going to talk about it and we're going to call them out. Because we are about to move into the election season. And when I heard Smirkanish on CNN over the weekend say, lead the segment, is President Trump out of touch with his base now? That's what they want to go with. And where this really began was when this topic came up at the Houston event with Bill O'Reilly and President Trump a couple weeks ago. Remember? And I talked about this the next day. I said, you got to be very careful about this. Don't confuse those two issues. Vaccines and mandates, they're two different issues. President Trump's position has never changed. He is very strongly against mandates. He said, as far as the vaccine, it is an individual choice. He is opposed to mandates. He even told that to Bill O'Reilly. At all four of those events, by the way. I've gotten reports from people at the different, all four of the events that President Trump did with Bill O'Reilly. And from what I'm being told, the topic came up at every one, and he said the same thing. In fact, I think we had a call towards the end of the show on Friday who saw President Trump with Bill O'Reilly at the first one here in South Florida where that came up. It was on the air. Okay? Very strong against mandates. The other, he says, is an individual choice. He said that from the beginning. But I told you when that story first broke out of the Houston rally, the left now see that as a weakness. And I saw Twitter light up with people, I'm a strong supporter of Trump, but no more. A lot of fake MAGA out there. A lot of those people saying that are not Trump supporters and never were. And the question you got to ask yourself is, was Candace Owens and Alex Jones ever a Trump supporter? Now, Candace Owens, we're talking about, is in some trouble here with, with the Parler and Truth Social. We were talking about that. Alex Jones, this is because I was thinking about this morning. I first heard this bit with Alex Jones this morning after I woke up. Okay, and I was like, whoa. And then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. Alex Jones is being called in front of this January 6th committee. Is what Alex Jones doing, is he trying to distance himself with Trump out of fear? You know, like a lot of these January 6th prisoners. All of a sudden they condemn Trump. They do these hostage video confessions. You know, like in the days of the Vietnam War with the American POWs. I confess my crimes against the peaceful people of North Vietnam. Remember those? Is Alex Jones trashing President Trump because he's being called up in front of the January 6th committee? And I know he plans on taking the Fifth Amendment, which I get and understand, and I support him doing that. Alex Jones, this was in Tucker Carlson's Patriot Purge. Alex Jones was on his megaphone telling people not to go towards the Capitol. It's on Patriot Purge on Fox Nation, Tucker Carlson's special. Okay? But is he afraid that he's going to get jammed up with the January 6th committee? These are very powerful people he's up against. He's at a level he's not been to before. So is he distancing himself from President Trump to try to save himself with the January 6th committee? I'm not sure. Just something I'm considering. I'm trying to figure out, why are these two doing this? 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631. Let's take our break, okay? We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Steve Kane just had GoPro over at his house to trim his trees. On the line, we have Nathan. He's the owner of GoPro. He's going to tell you what he did over at Steve's house and why you should call him to help you with all of your landscaping needs. Nathan?
So the biggest thing we did over at Steve's house, his trees were all overgrown. You couldn't even see the house, the yard. The grass was starting to die because there was so much shade from the trees being overgrown for such a long time. So we came in, we looked at the trees, did an assessment, pruned them structurally so that way the trees are balanced and even to make sure that there was no possibility of them coming down in the storms. We did 2 rotor pointing on the trees, one in the front yard and one in the backyard. by the oak tree. So now by trimming them back, the oak tree can come back to life and provide a nice healthy tree for Steve. The reason why you should hire the professionals here at GoPro over the guy with just the truck who's mowing the grass next door is our guys are trained in the different types of trees and identifying how to properly prune the tree so it's structurally healthy, not to over trim them. The thing that we do over the competition is we make sure we do it right. Make the proper cuts on the tree, trim the tree properly so that way the tree can come back healthy. We service anything from residential, single family home all the way up to large HOAs, commercial buildings, whatever the customer has a need for, we can service.
Give Nathan at GoPro a call right now. He'll give you a free estimate. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. Make sure you tell him you heard him on the radio. 954-680-7739.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just...
Hey guys, welcome back. So, I have a cold, and I was not feeling well on the show Friday. Started, feeling a little sick. And of course, big family weekend, right? Getting together with people. So, I went and got COVID tested. And it's negative. I don't have COVID. Just a cold. And I got to tell you, this is one of the most mild colds I've ever had in my life. But it's still tough to do the show. First cold I've had in like 2 years. But I keep hearing these stories in the news that long lines for COVID tests, people can't get COVID testing. Any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs, walk right in. They have every COVID test you could possibly need. They even have same-day PCR testing. But whatever test you need, whether it's for travel, whether it's for your work, the antigen, everything, whatever COVID test there is, they have it at any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. All of them. Same-day PCR testing as well. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Now listen, there's lots of any lab test nows around. These are the only two locations advertising on the Steve Kane Show, so don't use the rest. Use these two. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is, of course, in Coral Springs on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. They're open Monday through Saturday. I'm so glad I got tested because it's, don't have to wonder. Don't have COVID. And you can tell people, I don't have COVID. They even give you a printout. You can show it to everybody. See, COVID-free. No appointment necessary. Just walk right in. If you want to call, you can. Any lab test now of Coral Springs, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto, north of Hillsboro, on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Their number, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. All right, to the phones we go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, bro.
Hey, Richie.
Yeah, you're not condescending, by the way, and you know what? When you started with this, I said I think you're overreacting. But the longer I'm listening, you're 100% right. There is an attack going on. Alex Jones is a conspiracy guy. He believes everything is.
Yeah, but he's been called up by Liz Cheney's Kangaroo January 6th committee, and now all of a sudden he's trashing Trump. Maybe he's nervous.
He thinks that this vaccine is killing.
No, that's not about the vaccine. I mean, these people in this committee, they put people in prison. And Trump's not in the White House to give out pardons right now. So it...
Yeah, as for Candace Owens, look, I'm not as computer savvy as most because of the age that I am. Because at the time, but I was through the TV era. But Trump is street smart, which nobody has, And some of these websites, even there's a lot of websites, they're kooky websites, that they give you false information. So if you read one, you got to read another, and then you got to who the hell are you going to believe? I believe this is totally an attack on Trump by both of them, and they don't even realize. I don't think Candace Owens. I don't know if she realizes that she is attacking because I still think she supports him. But at the same time, I think like lawyers think they're better than the average person.
Yeah.
People think they're a lot smarter than an older person because of the computer age.
Yeah.
It's a fact. You can't.
That's true.
No, by the way. But I have to say this to you, and I'm not changing topics here.
to prove that we're under attack, and I don't think you probably watched because you don't watch. There was an hour-long infomercial yesterday on Meet the Press. It was taped, and it was an attack on all of us, all of the MAGA people, for 1 hour. Did you know what they did? What was going on?
No, what'd they do?
It was all about, they had all of the black teachers, black administrators. It was all about that some of the people in this country, some of the white people that
I'm gonna get into that later. I don't want to get sidetracked on that right now, Richie. But hey, listen, thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, you got to ask yourself, you know, why? Like you said, why are they doing this? And who's gonna be the next shoe to fall? I mean, we think about it. There are a number of I won't say fake MAGA, but guys who have so-called come around that to being MAGA or defending Trump that they could go after, like for instance, Mark Levin.
Well, see, this thing with Candace Owens, and I'll play both of these clips again for people that are just tuning in, but Candace Owens, it's not that she's disagreeing with President Trump. If she was disagreeing with President Trump, I wouldn't even be talking about it. She said that people don't realize how old he is. I don't think he's corrupt. He's not informed. He doesn't read the right things. She's talking about him like Biden. When Biden said, "Let's go, Brandon," over the weekend, she's talking about President Trump like he's Joe Biden.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And is she kind of fearing that they may try and call her up in front of that committee?
I don't know about that. I think that Candace Owens, there's two things going on with Candace Owens. One, okay, she is in this never Trumper Ben Shapiro bubble, working for Ben Shapiro. Two, I believe that she thought she was going to become a billionaireess with the parlor, which has been sidelined because President Trump has his own social media MAGA alternative coming out. So I think there's some being pissed off about that. And I'll add one more thing. Thirdly, I think she trolls people to go trending on the Twitter, and I don't think she realized what she did, how bad it was, and how bad it sounded. And I'm just wondering, did she just get a little crazy there, Candace Owens, or did we get to hear how she really feels about President Trump for the first time? You know?
Right. And finally on my call, here's something else to think about with this whole situation. Fine Ted Cruz, as Trump would call him, is thinking about running in 2020.
He said it last week. He said that since he came in second place, the nomination should be his, he said.
Yeah. Now, what does he think he knows that we don't?
I don't know what he... No.
I mean, if he's thinking, well, this kangaroo committee could get Trump on something, and I'm the next guy up, then maybe that's why he said that. But I don't know. I mean, this guy is. We know he wants to be president bad, and Trump came around and snaked him out of it. You know.
Yeah.
According to him, you know. So that may be as simple as.
It's possible. Hey, Mike. Hey, thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ralph.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, speak up.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, it's Ralph. Truck driver Ralph.
Hey, Ralph.
Okay.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think never Trumpers who take a red pill have the best of both worlds. When it goes good, they'll follow. When it's not going good or they're being processed out, they go that way. So they get to stay in the media, in the limelight, no matter which way they go. As far as Candace goes, I've listened to her a lot. So now we have to see if this is a pattern that she does now, as far as Trump. Now, if she keeps going with this, then
See, this is not just a disagreement. She's saying he's old and feeble and uninformed. There's and possibly corrupt.
No, I agree with you, but you said 5 minutes ago you weren't really sure if she knew what she was really saying. So we're going to have to find a pattern on that in the near future.
Well, no, what I mean is, okay, let me just clarify what I mean by that. Candace Owens, well, let me just put some context to what I said because I didn't really explain what I meant. Candace Owens is one of the most famous women in America, okay? And because of Trump, by the way. And she's gotten a little full of herself. Well, a little. She's gotten very full of herself. And I don't think she realized how nasty what she was saying actually was. And, I don't think she realized how bad that would come off to people. And I'm not saying she cares what you think or I think, but I don't think she realized how nasty that was. And that goes into the people around her. Is this how the people around her talk about President Trump all the time? Ben Shapiro, who she works for, believes Stormy Daniels.
Correct.
So, yeah.
In this case here, shouldn't we give her maybe a chance to see if she keeps this going?
Well, this was like 5 days ago. This was like 4 or 5 days ago. Okay? And I haven't heard a response from her apologizing or anything. Too much eggnog, nothing. I haven't heard a peep.
Okay. Well, never Trumpers haven't made. And,
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I love the guy. And he's a powerful man, and he's the strongest person I ever met.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot.
Yeah, but didn't you hear Candace Owens? He was born before the internet.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too, Candace Owens. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. I read Winnie the Pooh, not on the internet. I read it in a real book.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. I got to run for the top of the hour break. Those of you on hold, stand by. 1 hour down, 2 to go. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back right after this.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers at Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the most
Steve Kane Show.
slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off.
Sorry about that. Steve Kane Show.
Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Hey, Lynn, hold on.
One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
I heard him say on his show, he said, of course he bonked her or something. He said, Steve Kane Show.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
Now,
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance. And
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40%
Steve Kane Show.
Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, and it's helping
Hold on.
neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's
I might have to sit down a little bit today since I got this this cold. I've been sleeping on the couch because I don't want to get my wife sick. I think with Alex Jones, maybe something, afraid of the January 6th committee. I mean, look at how people that they brought up from that with charges have, like the Shaman, they released these statements trashing Trump. Make sure you like the video, everyone, and if you're new, subscribe. I uploaded a new podcast last night.
4879 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call the show toll-free. Dial 1-888-GO-KANE. That's 1-888-GO-KANE. 1. And now, Here's...
All righty. Yes. Hour number 2 has begun. It's Monday. We're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Alex Jones and Candace Owens have said terrible things about President Trump. If you're on hold, stand by. Let me play them again for people that are just tuning in. I'll play them uninterrupted. First, let's play Candace Owens. This was after her interview with President Trump last week.
And he believes that because he comes from a generation, like people, you oftentimes forget like how old Trump is. He comes from a generation, I've seen other people that are older have the exact same perspective. Like they came from a time before TV, before internet, before being able to conduct their independent research, and everything that they read in a newspaper that was pitched to them, like they believed that was a reality. And one of those things was, this push for vaccines and believing that people were going to die without vaccines. And so I believe that his support of the vaccine is genuine and it's not based in any corruption at all. I think he actually believes those things. And people that are saying, how is he ignoring all the people that are being injured? And, people are sending Rumble videos and all of these, websites, obscure websites. I believe also that he only reads the mainstream media news. Believe it or not, I do not believe that Trump reads or partakes in any other news sources. I don't believe that Trump is on the internet or, that he necessarily uses the web to try to find, obscure websites. I think that he just relies on, typical mainstream sources. So I don't think that there's anything evil going on there. I just wanted to say that because so many donors, supporters of his are kind of like questioning where all of this is coming from. And I think he just genuinely believes that. And he needs to sit down and, have a full conversation with someone. I was interviewing him in that circumstance, but he needs to have a larger conversation to really understand what's going on and why so many people are just horrified.
Okay. She said Trump is older than people think. He was born before television, which is not true. He grew up during the golden age of TV. He was born before the internet, and he doesn't spend his time going to obscure websites. Let me tell you, one thing that impressed me about President Trump, even during the first campaign, is how well informed he is. He knows everything about everything that's going on. But he doesn't have time to sit in front of a computer going to obscure websites. He gets briefed. He reads as much as the man can, but he also gets briefed by great, brilliant people like Peter Navarro, Stephen Miller, and others, okay? She's talking about him like he's old, feeble, and checked out like Biden. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Melinda. I'm calling from Middletown, Ohio.
All right, Linda in Ohio. What's up?
Yeah, understanding that Candace Owens admittedly was a Democrat. And, when the Democrats went so far left, she switched parties. And I'm sort of wondering if she's hoping in the midterms to get more reputable Democrat candidates so that she can go back to her own party. Sort of wondering about that. And as far as Alex Jones is concerned, I am familiar with Alex Jones' dramatics. The statement he made was horrendous, but with Alex Jones, his understanding is probably there are so many issues out there with a vaccine, and they're...
No, that's not what he's talking about. All of a sudden, Alex Jones is called up in front of the January 6th committee, and all of a sudden he's trashing Trump. These January 6th prisoners, many of them, like the Viking, the shaman, they've all trashed Trump too. It's like an out. It's how you make a deal. So I'm wondering if there's a connection between him getting called up by the January 6th committee and throwing Trump under the bus.
I do agree on that.
Yeah. Because Trump's position has been the same. He is very much against mandates. He told Candace Owens, he told Bill O'Reilly, he said this even at recent rallies that he's had. He is against mandates. His position has been the same from the get-go. They're acting as if all of a sudden he's gone through a transformation. The change is with them. And the two, Alex Jones is viewed kind of like a kook. Like, remember Mort Downey Jr., right? Remember those guys? He's kind of like a Mort Downey Jr. kind of guy. So people don't take seriously what he says. They view him as more of a crazy showman, carnival barker, which is fine, you know. But Candace Owens has a lot of credibility with a lot of people. And I find her statements to be just disgusting. He's old, feeble, doesn't read, you know, uninformed. That's President Trump she's talking about, not Biden.
I know, and I just think I'm really appalled at that one because I couldn't believe that she would say such things because she was so pro-Trump, it seemed like. And then I think really because she was a Democrat before, that maybe she's trying to get the Democrats.
Well, I was a Democrat when I was a kid, then I grew up, you know what I mean? It was a long time ago, over 20 years ago. But what Candace Owens works for Never Trumper Ben Shapiro. That's got to have an influence. During the interview with President Trump afterwards, I pointed this out. She picked up a very bad tick from Ben Shapiro, the fast talking. She wasn't talking as fast as Ben Shapiro, but I noticed she was talking a lot faster than she used to, and she repeatedly interrupted President Trump during that interview, which which shows lack of respect.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I didn't hear that. I didn't even know that she was interviewing him, so I didn't get to hear.
Yeah, so she's got these Never Trumper Ben Shapiros around her. That's got to have a big influence on her. It obviously has had an influence on her. And to me, that tells me that the people around her, this is how they talk about President Trump when the mics aren't on.
It's really a shame, too, because he's done so much for this country.
Nobody would, if it wasn't for President Trump, no one would know who she is.
I thought the same thing. I'm so glad you said that because I thought the same thing. She is who she is because of Trump, actually.
Mm-hmm. And she's talking about Trump like Jim Acosta talks about Trump.
I know. So she would not even have the position she has today if it hadn't been for him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, thanks for the call, Ohio. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jose from Pennsylvania.
All right, Pennsylvania. What's up?
Hey, yeah, man, I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Alex Jones thing and Candace. I don't know much about Candace, right? I don't listen to her. I do listen to Alex Jones and some of the stuff that he says. And, you know, I believe he does understand, and, you know, it's on the same, you know, point with Trump with, you know, it being freedom of choice, you know, with the whole, you know, vaccine.
That's what Trump says. It's an individual choice, and he's opposed to the mandates. Exactly. He's not pushing anything.
Yeah, and I don't think that's you know, when you hear Alex Jones going on his rant, right, I don't, he understands that, and I don't think that's what he's arguing, or I don't think that's the point he's trying to make. You know, because a lot of times when he, you know, talks about the vaccine, you know, he talks about how it could be detrimental to Trump, for Trump just touting it as
No, he's not pushing it. Now, listen, hundreds of people have been arrested and charged in the Capitol breach. The high-profile cases, they've made deals, right? The ones that have made deals, like the shaman guy, they all come out and denounce Trump. If you know, there's been a constant with them. They've all come out and denounced Trump. Alex Jones has been called up in front of the January 6th committee. He says that he's going to take the Fifth Amendment. You know, and I think that's a smart move. I agree with him doing that because they're trying to trip him up. But maybe he's a little nervous about going up in front of that. He's going up against very powerful people that have done terrible things to good people. You know, this establishment. So maybe he's trashing Trump to try to help himself with the January 6th kangaroo committee.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that, right? Because if he got the Fifth Amendment, right, he doesn't got to say nothing. And if that's the case, if he stays shut,
That's not necessarily true because what they can do, one of the things they can, do you really think these monster Never Trumpers are going to say, oh, he took the Fifth, okay, Alex Jones, see ya, all right, Roger Stone, we'll never see you again? Doesn't end with that. And if they give you immunity, you can't take the Fifth Amendment if you have immunity because you can't be prosecuted. Now, believe me, he's going up against very terrible, terrible people. And this is not like you're doing a radio show. Just saying I take the Fifth and it's over. That's not going to fly with these people.
Yeah, because even with what he said, right, even if he just tries to detach himself with the whole Trump thing and all that, he hosts this big radio, station. So
I mean, these are the people that impeached President Trump who did nothing wrong twice. They even impeached him when he was no longer in office, which is not even legal. So just because the law says something and Alex Jones is going to take the fifth doesn't mean that they're just going to, oh, okay, Alex Jones, go back to Texas and do your show. You really think that's what they're going to do? You really think so?
No, not really. You're right. They're going to attack him like, they did Roger Stone, or they're going to continue to attack him like they do to Trump, right? He's out of office.
I mean, my goodness, they've put people that worked for Trump, they put people who worked for Trump in prison for nothing. You think?
I believe you. But we also, look, right now we have CNN on the whole vaccine thing, even fighting with Trump. When is it?
Because they're trying, don't you get it? They're trying to divide MAGA. There is no division. Trump's position has always been, it's an individual choice. I'm opposed to mandates. And they're trying to act as if he's pushing something and change his position, which he's not done. And CNN is working with these never-Trumpers, and they see a weakness. And this is the weakness, and they're trying to use this to weed out Trump. And it won't be long before they start to... I love Ron DeSantis. He's my governor, but it won't be long until they start pushing Ron DeSantis. And if he gets the nomination, then all of a sudden he'll be an evil man.
On point with that, with the Ron DeSantis, man. If Trump doesn't run, that's the guy that should run.
Well, see, that's what they're going to say. See, that's what CNN is going to say. That's what CNN is going to say.
Has been on the ball.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about it. He's my governor. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. But here's the deal. See, this is what CNN's going to do. They're going to do what you're doing. They're going to start pushing Ron DeSantis. It's not his time. I love the man. His time is 28. But hold on. But don't you understand? Listen, what's going on here with Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and CNN is the first step to endorsing somebody else instead of Trump for 2024. That's what this is. This is a process. This is step one. Divide MAGA from Trump.
Yeah.
If Trump were in office right now, it would be Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Thank you for your call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Andrea.
I hope you had a Merry Christmas, you and Kathy and your daughter.
Yes, we had a great time. Hope you had a good Christmas as well.
It was low-key, but it was good. So, here's the interesting thing about what's going on with Candace Owens and Alex Jones and everything like that. It's one of two things, right? So, either they're playing their cards and showing people exactly who they are, which is beautiful. Nobody has disrupted this system more than Trump. Nobody in the history of this country. He just came in and ripped the curtain down, and now there's no hiding what's going on.
But what do you think, Candace Owens, what do you think about her tone? He's older than you think. He's not informed. He was born before the internet. He doesn't read the right sources. He's not informed. I don't think this is corruption, which implies that he is corrupt. What do you think about what she'd said?
I think that Candace Owens has gotten too big for her britches.
Yeah.
That's what I really think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she has now entered the realm of mass celebrity in her head.
Well, you know what? That's what destroyed Glenn Beck in the 2016 campaign.
Here's the thing, Brian. It doesn't matter. You have to watch what people do. Never listen to what people say. Watch what they do. Just like Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is nothing more than a reality TV star. There's a lot of clutching of the pearls. There's a lot of feigned outrage every time he gets in front of the TV camera. If Ted Cruz was really so concerned about everything, like he pretends to be, he would be doing things like what Louis Gohmert and Marjorie Taylor Greene are doing, going to the jail to visit the January 6th
Yeah.
people who are now being held as political prisoners in the United States of America. Wait, watch what they do. You never listen to what they say because...
Well, do you think this thing with Candace Owens has anything to do with him making Parler, which her husband runs, irrelevant? President Trump with his new platform coming?
You know what? It probably does. Because I heard this one day and it actually made me laugh. They were asking, President Trump was on some show and they had audience questions. And somebody typed in, what's the difference between Donald Trump's hair and a wet raccoon?
Oh my.
Trump's answer was,
What?
a wet raccoon is not a bleeping billionaire.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Answer was.
Great answer, President Trump.
Candace Owens knows that she will never achieve that status.
Yeah.
And so she has to stick up for her husband. It would be like Kathy not sticking up for you. But to say what she's saying is she has just gotten very big. She's gotten very big. And you know what? The bottom line is, MAGA, much like freedom, is a mindset. You can only be as free as you believe that you are.
Mm-hmm.
Lifestyle, and it's a mindset. And you know what? This should just show everybody the panic that's going on in this country.
Yeah.
So I think that you're going to see a patriotic movement unlike anything you've ever seen in 2022. The communists are in for a big wake-up call. They're in for a big wake-up call.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, Andrea, I'm late for the break, but thank you for the call. All right. Have a great day. All right. 20 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Back right after this.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority.
I'm with Trump.
At the Soul Authority.
Okay, I'm with Trump.
No cost, you can
That's who I'm
receive
with.
Your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for
Who's
diabetics.
with Trump? Press
You're
1.
Probably not aware, but as a diabetic
Press 1 if you're with
Medicare
Trump,
recipient,
like
you
me.
are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish.
There we go.
They provide you with the extra width and
All right.
depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable
No, there's no
measures
2, just
that
1.
is
We
most
didn't give it
effective
2.
is wearing the proper shoes.
1 means you're with
Call
Trump.
the
There's no other
Soul
choices.
Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at
Andrea's calls are always good.
thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
At AJ's Natural Shop at Festival Marketplace, you will find the best vitamins, herbs, and everything natural at amazingly low prices. I'm Anita, one of the owners of AJ's. My 20-plus years in the natural products industry has allowed me to make contacts with the top supplement and health food manufacturers throughout the country. So even if you can't find your favorite item at AJ's, just ask. I can get it for you at a great price. Call AJ's today. 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851.
Hi, Tom Laporta.
So I'm almost halfway through the show with this cold, so I'm a little weakened, but
The 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building
I think doing pretty good. But only half the show is not even quite through half the show. I'm a little tired, but I've done the show sicker than this. Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you, thank you. Trump is our president, pure and simple. I am always with Trump and will be forever. Everyone thank Wesley for that super chat. Thank you, Wesley.
Free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, 23 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, yes, Doug.
You know, when you said
This guy's got nothing to say.
never trust, never Trump, I was hoping that you were wrong about Candace Owens. Man, you're right on the money. This girl just doesn't know what she's talking about. She, to say something about it, even as dumb as, even before the Internet. First of all, the Internet, to me, is about 90% garbage and 10% good stuff. But, you know, to me, you should stay off the Internet and just figure things out on your own by finding things out of the different main...
I don't know. I consume as much as I can. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with going to anywhere for information. But to sit around and say that Trump needs to be sat down and educated by her and other like-minded people like her is insane.
Terrible, terrible thing to say. I'm surprised that she didn't say that, but I think maybe she just made a dumb mistake, and hopefully she'll correct it and apologize, but I don't think so. As for Alex Jones, I think Alex Jones is the kind of guy that whatever he thinks is 100% right, no middle ground, he's against the vaccine, and he thinks that...
No, but it can't be a coincidence, in my mind, it cannot be a coincidence that Alex Jones is throwing Trump under the bus on the eve of him being called in front of the January 6th committee of Liz Cheney's.
Yeah, it could be.
Because what these January 6 people like more than anything else is somebody who trashes Trump, who used to be for him. You know, that they call that like a cooperating witness. At this point, he's like a cooperating witness to the committee.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like you said, if he's going to say the Fifth Amendment, and what can they do if he just said the Fifth?
What can they do? They impeached President Trump after he was out of office. They had that fake dossier, all this stuff. What do you mean, what can they do? They don't care about the law, the rules, the Constitution. They make it up as they go along. They'll do whatever they want to do. I mean, there's hundreds of... There's a couple hundred American citizens that have been in the D.C. Gitmo for almost a year now, and have had their due process rights suspended, like they're Al-Qaeda terrorists or something. So what do you mean, what can they do?
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. You know, that is the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen. That somebody for doing nothing wrong, nothing that's even a federal crime.
Well, no matter what it is that you do, you're entitled to the presumption of innocence, the right to see your return, all this stuff, speedy trial. There's a bunch of constitutional guarantees, no matter whether you're a January 6th person or you're, O.J. Simpson. There's a certain amount of constitutional guarantees that we're all entitled to that are being denied them. So if people think that Alex Jones, if they want to, he's going to be cute and say, I take the Fifth, and they're just going to laugh and let him get the best of them, you're kidding yourself. I mean, these are, please, they got 1,000 ways that they can get to him, and not all of it will be during the hearing on television. So no, I would imagine that, I mean, if I were, any normal person would have concerns about that. These are terrible people.
Oh man, that's why I keep telling the people I know that liberals, this is why your party has no favorability with anybody. It's going down. That's why we're going to have a landslide victory, because you guys are self-destructing.
Yes.
Doing everything they're doing turns everybody off. This January 6th, everybody. This is sickening. I think the whole country feels that way, even if you're a liberal.
Yeah. All right, take care, Doug. Conservative Doug on the line. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I'm seeing the sun rise above the beach. Oh, man, it looks beautiful. Oh, boy. Ugh. I do have a cold, guys. I was COVID tested on Friday, and it was negative, so I do not have COVID. I'm getting messages from people. I am COVID-free. I just have a cold. And I'm better today than I was yesterday, and yesterday I was better than I was the day before. So I'm on the mend, and I'm halfway through the show, and I've gotten through it. Steve told me to take the day off, but we got a week off at the end of January with our cruise. So I struggled to get through this new Matrix movie. It's on HBO. It is god-awful. In fact, it's so bad, even the filmmakers know it's bad. And spoiler alert, but can you spoil garbage? Doesn't garbage already stink? Is it not already spoiled? The Matrix, the new Matrix movie is so bad. This will blow your mind. It's a Warner Brothers movie, right? Agent Smith, you know, Agent Smith was the villain in the original trilogy. He's in this now, played by a new actor. And he's having a conversation with Keanu Reeves in this movie by name, naming Warner Brothers, making them reboot the original Matrix trilogy. There's an entire conversation between Keanu Reeves and Agent Smith about Warner Brothers. And they say Warner Brothers is making them reboot the original trilogy, and they don't want to do it, and they're very upset about it. And the evil villain in the new movie is Warner Brothers. They say it by name. I don't know how they got that in, but the villain is the Hollywood studio Warner Brothers. They say the name. And if you've seen the movie on HBO Go and you want to go back and see the part, it's the part where Keanu Reeves goes into the office of his business partner, Agent Smith, not knowing it's his business partner. It's that conversation. That's how bad it is. It's so bad that even the filmmakers put it into the movie. And there's some subplots about the studio too in there, but that'll blow your mind. It is awful. Not watchable. All right, let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my new product, My Slippers. They took me over 2 years to develop because I didn't want just an ordinary slipper. My slippers are meant to be worn all day long, no matter what you're doing, whether you're inside or outside. My slippers come with an exclusive 3-tier cushioning system that you won't find in any other slipper. It combines 2 layers of foam, including my proprietary My Pillow foam and a patented impact gel made from U.S. soybeans. My 3-tier cushioning system is going to help relieve pressure points, provide that micro support you need for all-day comfort, and help prevent fatigue.
Hope everyone had a good Christmas.
With high-quality leather and a premium indoor-outdoor sole that make them extremely durable. I personally guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable slippers you'll ever own.
And right now, save 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE. Automotive in Boca Raton.
Yes, no, it's just my opinion, Renee. That's exactly right.
Tom called in on the radio.
That's exactly right.
Experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
That is absolutely correct. It's just my opinion that the movie's crap. That's true.
I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brake, and that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He says, well, you need to change your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, says, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow. Well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So if the vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place, you were dealing with a crook.
I'll be right back. I gotta get some water. I hope I have time.
Everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack. They're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener of the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca on the Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. 8101.
The Steve Kane Show is
All right, coming back, guys.
Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on Radio. Just search for WW.
Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Monday morning, we will be here live all week, including Friday, people, live with your calls all week long. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. All right, so this really embarrassing thing happened with Biden over the weekend, and it's beyond just funny and cute. When I first saw it, I thought it was hilarious, and then I realized, oh my goodness, this guy's got his finger on the button and is in charge of the nuclear football. And that's when I realized, well, this is a big deal. Let me pull this up. This is Biden when he took the phone call from the dad with the Let's Go Brandon. Listen.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas and let's go Brandon.
Let's go Brandon, I agree.
Okay. Now, Let's Go Brandon, of course, means F-U Joe Biden. So, by the way, did you see Jill's face when that happened? Oh my goodness, she kind of had a little idea something was going to happen, because earlier she said, this is for the kids. She said, remember. But when Joe Biden said, let's go Brandon, I agree, he just said, Joe Biden said, F-U Joe Biden, I agree. Oh my goodness. He did not even know what it meant. And this is what's frightening about this. This goes back to what I was talking about with Candace Owens, talking about Trump like he's Biden. Joe Biden is not even aware of the Let's Go Brandon slogan, which is kind of like the Ice Bucket Challenge. It's kind of like the Macarena of the day right now, right? It's kind of like the fad thing. Let's Go Brandon, he's not even aware of it. You might ask yourself, how's that possible? Jill Biden is, because if you see Jill Biden's face, she was flipping out, okay, when that happened. He wasn't even aware of it. And the reason he was not even aware of it, Joe Biden, is because it's not just that he's checked out cognitively. There are people inside the White House that share with him whatever they want to share with him, and he gets no outside information. This Let's Go Brandon thing, how long has that been going on, Let's Go Brandon? When did that happen at the race? 2 months ago? 3 months ago? I don't remember how long ago. But it's been going on for weeks and weeks and a couple of months at least. It must have been like 3 months ago. When did that happen? Can anyone tell me when that happened? And they've not briefed him on it, which means he doesn't know anything about what's going on. He is only informed of the things that they inform him about. They've kept this from him. And this is not funny. I know it is funny, but it's not. Because he's running the country. This is how the Afghan withdrawal was so screwed up. He lost his mind for a few minutes and had them pull out before they were ready in a way that left hundreds of Americans behind as hostages and gave the Taliban incredible amounts of brand new military equipment, including air support. And they have all the pilots and everyone behind from the Afghan army to train them to use it or hold their families hostage and make them use the equipment for them. So to me, that's scary. And of course, CNN, listen to this. This is CNN. They're very upset about it. Listen, CNN, listen.
Let's Go Brandon, for those who don't know, is slang for F Joe Biden. Ron, the president is trying to be nice to kids. He doesn't really have to do this. They were very pleasant. What does it tell you that somebody is rude like that and disrespects the office of the president to his face about the political climate in this country?
Yeah, look, it's ungracious, it's juvenile, it's reprehensible by the father, but I don't think it's fundamentally about incivility. I think it is fundamentally about insurrection.
Wow, that's CNN. It's about insurrection. Wow. And you're ungrateful. See, this is a theme. We're supposed to be grateful to Biden. You know, when people were running around saying F Trump, and they didn't have a clever phrase, they just said it. When they were bringing out Stormy Daniels, when they had the fake dossier, I never heard anyone on CNN talk about, oh, this is insurrection, this is disrespectful, doesn't show appreciation. They were saying this is what's going on in this. Let me tell you, okay, I have followed this for a while. I know a lot of you guys have followed presidents for a while. Have you ever seen a president of the United States humiliated and exposed like that in this country? I have not. Not that there have not been attempts. You know, the father, you know, he's been interviewed, they're trolling him, they're harassing him, you know, like Joe the plumber. Joe the plumber asked a question of Obama. He wasn't president yet. You know, your tax plan's going to destroy me and all this stuff. And they destroyed Joe the plumber. The press went and got his sealed divorce records and put them in the media. And I know a lot of people are saying this guy's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's being doxxed and trolled by liberals all over social media right now. And I did read some interviews with the guy that said the "Let's go Brandon," and I do believe he didn't realize what the blowback would be. He thought it was funny. It is funny. He obviously planned it, but I don't think he realized what he was going to be going up against. If something like that happened to President Trump, the media would be talking about he's unfit for office. But it happens to Biden, and something's wrong with the American citizen who exercised their First Amendment right. But for him to show that he's not even aware of the phrase, he doesn't even know what it means, never heard it before, you can tell Biden has no idea. And it's not that he's forgotten, he hasn't been briefed on it. You got to ask who's running the country. I believe the country is being run by multiple groups of people, little committees. Okay, I don't, you know, and you know, like Psaki's got her thing, this person's got her thing, this department over here doing their own thing. I don't think there's one or two people that are running things. Jill Biden has her little control. It's being run by a bunch of little committees all over the place. We don't have a clear leader. But someone, and probably Joe Biden, is running interference for Joe, making sure that he only gets news and information that they want him to have. And I tell you, that incident, and then I started thinking about it, and I saw it again and again and again because it's all over the place, and it started to make me worried. And I don't think I'm alone with that. Oh, man. I'll tell you, though, you know, with this cold that I have, I'm sleeping on the couch. But, you know, I'm sleeping on the couch, which is, you know, not the most comfortable place to sleep, especially when I'm accustomed to my MyPillow 100% Giza cotton dream sheets and my MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. But I'll tell you, I've been sleeping on the couch for the last few nights because of this cold. And I'm sleeping with my MyPillow. And let me tell you, I haven't had a cold in a couple of years. But when I do have a cold, I sleep on the couch because I don't want to get my wife sick. And usually when I wake up on the couch, my neck hurts. I didn't get a good night's sleep on top of being sick. And I feel it in the morning. And I've been sleeping on the couch for, I think, 2 nights. Last night, the second night. Yeah, 2 nights. Maybe 3. Did I sleep there Friday night? No, not Friday night, but 2 nights I've been sleeping on the couch. No neck problems because I'm sleeping on the couch with my MyPillow. And let me tell you, that patented fill of Mike Lindell's, it's amazing. Even sleeping on the couch, your head and neck rest perfectly in that patented fill that's inside of the MyPillow. And I can't believe how it's just like a great night's sleep I got on the couch. That's how great the MyPillow is. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener specials. By the way, whatever special you see at mypillow.com, no matter what it says, you can take advantage of it with our promo code Kane. But now a lot of these prices are very, very low right now for Christmas. We're beyond Christmas, but they're still offering these low prices, so I would take advantage of them. The MyPillow, the one I have, I paid full price for it because they weren't with us with our promo code as an advertiser when I bought mine. They became one after. The regular price for the MyPillow that I slept on last night, $69.98. With our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, just $19.98. You should really load up on them. They make great gifts all throughout the year. This is the lowest price ever on the MyPillow, just $19.98 with the promo code Kane. And don't forget that 6-piece MyPillow towel set, regularly $110, just $39.99 with the promo code Kane. The MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, with our promo code Kane, 50% off. This is the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell makes, 50% off. There's many other great specials. Use our promo code Kane at checkout. Take advantage of all of them, Kane. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have
Andrea, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Everyone thank Andrea for that $5 super chat. A few months ago, Andrea said, a few months ago, Candace Owens interviewed Trump, and she said Trump Owens 2024. What has she done for Brexit lately? Since blackout, nothing. Watch them. Yeah. Very good points. Very, very good points.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID tests.
Oh, MyPillow couch, that'd be a great idea.
Including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza.
Hey, Debbie, good morning.
South of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Steve Kane just had GoPro over at his house to trim his trees. On the line, we have Nathan. He's the owner of GoPro. He's going to tell you what he did.
My cold medication's wearing off. I took it right before the show. I can tell my Dayquil's wearing off, and I don't have any more here to take. So I got an hour. So if you guys could call, get me through this next hour, I'd appreciate it. What's the advice they gave, Jacqueline? I missed it. R. Collins and SNF, I missed it. What was the advice? What's the problem?
Give Nathan a GoPro a call right now. He'll give you a free estimate. 954.
Sometimes I can't follow the chat too well when I'm broadcasting.
Make sure you tell him you heard him on the radio. 954-680-7739.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show, iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, I was just telling everybody during the break, my Dayquil is wearing off with an hour and 11 minutes to go. Oh man, I took my Dayquil right before I went on the air, and Dayquil usually lasts me about 2 hours, then it starts to wear off, and I can tell it's wearing off. And we got an hour and 11 minutes to go. But we'll keep on trucking. The show must go on. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Florida's longest running radio show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. All right, Dr. Oz. Oh, my goodness. Dr. Oz, he is bad guy. Bad guy. And, you know, listen to this. This is in Breitbart. See, I'm starting to fade now, guys. I'm starting to fade. Hey, Steve told me I should take today off. We run a best of. I was like, no, a lot of news going on. We got to get in there. So here I am. This is Breitbart. Celebrity Dr. Oz, a Republican Senate candidate in Pennsylvania, recently said this: "We have to have compassion for transgendered adults," when asked about transgendered swimmer Leah Thomas, according to a report. Thomas is a biological male who swims for the University of Pennsylvania and has been smashing women's records this season. Okay. Oh, boy, Dr. Oz. Okay. This is insane. Okay, this, what's the name? Leah Thomas has not just been breaking records, has been breaking records by like 30 seconds and more. And, you know, I do enjoy the Olympics. And I'll watch swimming during the Olympics. You get a new record set, and it's like by 100th of a second or something. And Leah Thomas has been breaking records by like 30 seconds, 38 seconds, humongous numbers that have never been heard before. And I believe that the female swimmers should protest by not swimming with Leah Thomas. Go out there, just don't jump in the water and throw all the matches. This is just wrong. There's a difference between having compassion and support for transgendered Americans and transgender people and this, okay? Look at what's happening here, right? And I've talked about this before. A lot of athletes, they can't make it. They're not good enough when they're playing with the boys. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not good enough to be a professional athlete. I'm not good enough to be an amateur athlete. I'm not an athlete. I'm a mouthlete, all right? No, not a mathlete. I'm not good at that either. A mouthlete. My mouth is in great shape. Yeah. You'd have to be a streetwalker to have a mouth that is in as good shape as mine. I talk so much. But you have people that were born men going through this transgendered stuff, right? They're competing against women. They can't make it as men athletes, as male athletes. But when they're competing against women, look what they're doing. And what I would compare this to, it'll sound like a joke, but it's true. Do you guys remember the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer was the karate champion, and he was telling George and Jerry and Elaine, "Come to the tournament. I'm kicking everybody's butt." And they go there, and Kramer is in karate class with like 5- and 6-year-old kids, and he's beating them all. That's what's going on with this swimmer. A biological male. Look at, okay, give you an example, competing against women. It just should not be allowed. Lance Armstrong won all those races because he was doping up. And I did not know this because I'm not a druggie. So since I'm not a druggie, I don't have to worry about how to avoid drug tests. I did not know this until Lance Armstrong's thing came out. He did that interview with, I think it was Oprah. I watched it. I thought when you went in for like a drug test that it was just like a generic test and it would detect anything in your system that you're not supposed to have in there that's not natural, and that's not the case. They have to test specifically for things. So Lance Armstrong, and I'm sure there's been others, knew what they test for and would just take things that they didn't test for, and then you test clean. That blew my mind. I did not realize. I thought things were much more sophisticated than that. But we found out he won all those championships because he was doping, Lance Armstrong. Well, what's the difference in what he was doing and what this transgender swimmer is doing? It's a very similar thing. But the big picture here is Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz is no conservative. He is a very liberal Republican. I see his television commercial all the time on TV. He's too fake and phony. He doesn't know how not to perform in front of the camera. He's not natural. It's very phony, and his Senate campaign logo is the same logo he uses for his television show. I like Dr. Oz, but we don't want him in the Senate. He's bad news. He's very liberal on things. Gun control, now this. Now, very bad news. He's a rhino. And I know people like him. Okay, he's a good TV doctor, I guess. And you know, during the height of the pandemic, I saw him on Fox pretty much every day. He was on Fox giving daily analysis of what was going on, and I found it interesting and spot on. But we don't want him in the Senate. He's bad news, and I hope he doesn't have a prayer, because this is not the type of person that we want in the Senate coming in with what we hope is a red Republican wave, because we would be in big, big trouble with this guy. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not against transgendered people. If people want to, you know, go through that sex change and everything, God bless them. But don't fail as a male athlete and then go and become a woman through the transgendered process and start competing against girls in sports. That's ridiculous. You can't go in the Tour de France if you're all doped up. Why should you be able to go in when you're biologically another sex and you got a bunch of hormones and things in your system? It makes no sense to me that this is allowed. And for him to champion that should send off a lot of red flags and a lot of sirens. All right, now we're coming up on the top of the hour break. When we get back, Steve will be joining us later in the show, and I'm going to switch gears a little bit after the top of the hour break. But I will tell you, you know, this cold I have is not COVID. I went and got tested for COVID on Friday. Don't believe these stories you're hearing in the news that you can't get a COVID test and there's lines around the block. Any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs, walk right in. Walk right in. In fact, I got a call from someone in my family last night. They want to get a COVID test today, and they were asking me, are the lines around the block at any lab test now of Boca? I said, no. Just walk right in. No appointment. Give me the number. I'll call ahead. Make it. No appointment. Just walk right in. And I'll tell you something. To me, it is, you know, if you, especially now, this time of year, you're socializing and everything. You want to know. You want to know, do you have COVID or not? It's best to know. Go to any lab test now of Boca. Go to any lab test now of Coral Springs. By the way, they offer every COVID test there is, no matter what you need a test for. If you need a particular test because you're traveling, if you need a particular test for work or school, whatever you need the test for, including the antigens test, all that, they have them all. They also have same-day PCR testing. You want to know. You don't want to wait a day, 3 days. You want to know. Same-day PCR testing at both locations. Now listen, there's lots of any lab test nows around, but the only two advertising on the Steve Kane Show are any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. So don't use the rest, just use these two. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is. South of Palmetto Park Road, north of Hillsborough, on the east side of State Road 7, 441. If you'd like to call, give them a call, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs, in Coral Springs, of course, on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. And their number, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Just walk right in, open Monday through Saturday. Same-day PCR test, but again, they have every type of COVID test there is. No matter what you need it for, they've got it. And you get that printout telling you, I don't have the COVID, which is a really good thing to get. All right, we'll be right back, third and final hour after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3.
Steve Kane Show.
South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network.
Yeah, what's your name? All right, you got to. I'll take you after the break, but you got to get off the speakerphone. Okay, you got to talk into the phone. Hold on.
Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes on my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to change your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, said, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow. Well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted
Steve Kane
for
Show.
a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category.
Yeah, it is. You want to hold on.
As an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack, they're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener of the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us this story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in...
Yeah, my Dayquil wore off, and it's starting to hit me now. I wish this was 9 and not 8. This last hour is going to be tough.
561-245-8101.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888.
No, I was tested already. I've been tested. Negative.
And now, here's Steve.
All right, third and final hour has begun. I'm Brian. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to, of course, Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Steve is joining us just in time to save the day, I hope. Good morning, Steve.
Good day.
Oh, yes. I was signaling to you. My Dayquil just wore off, so I can tell my Dayquil's worn off. Oh, you hear it? You hear? Oh, thank you. I sound sick?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sound terrific. You sound terrific.
I'm faking it. I'm faking it.
In fact, I know. I can tell. I just wanted to say to the audience something I've said before, but that I can't say enough. Brian Craig is what keeps this show going.
Oh my gosh.
And through thick and through thin.
That's right.
He wears every hat from producer to host to marketing. He's gotten...
Yep. Wear all the hats. I even have that Abraham Lincoln hat I wear sometimes. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate all that. Well, let's take the lead. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's take some calls, and I did save some sound bites and stuff for the last hour because I figured I saved some material for the last hour because I figured the last hour I was going to be running out of gas. But let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Louise, the mask lady from...
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, Louise, the mask lady. Yes, go ahead.
You wouldn't admit it, but if you were wearing your mask, you wouldn't have a cold.
Oh, really? So that's interesting. So you know where I caught the cold at?
If you were wearing a mask, you wouldn't have a cold.
Yes. How do you know that?
Because you wouldn't be breathing other people's germs.
Well, the way I got the what do you think, Steve? Do you wear the mask at home with everybody? All right. Hey, listen. Appreciate the call. The mask lady. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, gentlemen. Does anybody know if we're doing anything to help solve the illegal mail-in ballot?
No, we're doing nothing. We're doing nothing. Oh my gosh! You know, that guy calls in every Monday with the same call. It's like on his schedule of the week. Okay, I got up, took a shower, went to the bathroom. Now I got to call them with the same call every Monday. Hold on, let me take the halls out of my mouth, Steve. Did I lose you, Steve? I guess I lost Steve. I guess I'm doing the show alone because I've lost Steve. He turned Steve's mic off. Oh, great. Oh, my goodness. I lost the connection with Steve. Real? Are you there, Steve? Oh, my goodness. Okay, that's okay. Show must go on. I'll do the rest of the show by myself, under the weather. No problem at all. 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is the number. 888-465-2631. Let me take the break real quick. Let me go get a drink of water, and then we'll come back, and I'll jump back into everything. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with.
Oh man, that was awesome.
Doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything, helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All righty. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I was just reading this article during the break at Trending Politics. Oh, my goodness. Listen to this. This is the headline. Dems celebrate study showing Trump voters more likely to die from COVID. Hope that it sways midterm elections. Interesting. Yeah. You know, that's how the left are. Just, you know, you got to really ask yourself, what is behind the mindset of your average Democrat? Because a story like this does not surprise me whatsoever. What surprises me is that they're vocal about it. What is it about the left that drives them to hate us so much? You know, people that are the most extreme liberals, what makes them a liberal, right, in their own mind? You know, they don't... Trump is like the best candidate for these people. He's against corporate influence. He's against corruption in government. He's about, you know, not listening to the donors, but listening to the people. I really, truly do not understand why. I understand why, like, the Liz Cheney level doesn't like him, because that's their power. I'm talking about the average liberal voter. I will never be able to understand what it is about President Trump they despise so much. All right, anyway, let me move on to some of these other things. Now, you know, this one of the biggest issues in the midterm elections next year is going to be the what we saw with the school boards. What happened at the school boards was really an amazing, amazing thing. And we're talking about in Virginia in particular over critical race theory. And I would imagine that President Trump, when he starts the campaigning in the midterm elections for the House and the Senate candidates, and even governors that he supports, that critical race theory and what we saw in those school board meetings is going to be one of the major issues. It may even be the build the wall issue of the next two elections. And then the founder of the 1619 Project gave this interview, just totally shocked about it. You know, the 1619 Project is a very devious thing. You know, and what they're doing with the 1619 Project is they're trying to change the official date of the founding of the United States. You know, they want to change it to 1619. They say, I don't know if this is true or not. Now, 1619 is a year before the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock. Right? Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock in 1620, I believe, unless my memory is fading with the Dayquil wearing off. But they have documented, they tell us that the first African slave was brought to the New World in 1619. They want that to be the founding of the United States. And the reason that is such a big thing to them is because people understand that this country didn't start slavery in the New World, we ended it. And slavery for decades prior to the Civil War was a major issue being debated. It wasn't just the Republican Party formed to stop it. Long before that, millions of Americans were trying to end slavery for decades prior to the Civil War. And it's hard to sell the story that this country was built on slavery when we ended it. Pretty early on, too, in the country. So the 1619 Project is about changing the date, so that they can say the country was founded in 1619. That's how you get the reparations money, I guess. So the founder of the 1619 Project gave this interview over the weekend talking about what's been going on at these school board meetings, in particular in Virginia, and she just doesn't understand it. Listen.
And I don't really understand this idea that parents should decide what's being taught. I'm not a professional educator. I don't have a degree in social studies or science. We send our children to school because we want...
Now this is something, she says that she's not a professional educator. Is she not a college professor at Harvard? Isn't she and there was a controversy not too long ago about her becoming tenured. I believe she's a tenured professor at Harvard. But she says she's not a professional educator. Then how can you be a tenured Harvard professor?
And I don't really understand this idea that parents should decide what's being taught. I'm not a professional educator. I don't have a degree in social studies or science. We send our children to school because we want them to be taught by people who have expertise in the subject area. And that is not my job. When the governor or the candidate said that he didn't think parents should be deciding what's being taught in school, he was panned for that. But that's just the fact. This is why we send our children to school and don't homeschool, because these are the professional educators who have the expertise to teach social studies, to teach history, to teach science, to teach literature. And I think we should leave that to the educators. Yes,
Okay. We should leave that to the educators, not the parents. Here's the problem. Okay? Reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? When it comes to math, math is math. When you're teaching reading or English, language arts they call it now, because English would be ethnocentric or something, I don't know. But if you're teaching math, you're teaching reading, You're teaching English that they now call language arts. The facts are the facts. But what's happened here is there's two subjects that the liberals are using to get to turn the public school systems into indoctrination centers. Science and the social sciences. Regular science, right? They get into all their climate change crap. And then in the social studies courses, history and all of that, civics, they get their critical race theory and other ideas in to indoctrinate. And what they've done with critical race theory is they've had probably more success than we realize, although it's been stopped a lot and there's been a lot of pushback that we've seen. They're trying to do with the public schools what they've done to the colleges, right? The university system are liberal indoctrination camps. We've known this forever. This is not new. But now they're bringing that to K through 12 or pre-K through 12, and they're doing it with science and the science classes and the social studies classes with the critical race theory. And I'll tell you, I did get that critical race theory book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. I want to know what it's about. It's the most racist thing I've ever heard. They're changing the whole idea of civics education in this country to make them American haters. You know, how many people work hard their whole life, save up, send their kids to college, and they come home liberal American haters? This has been going on for decades, but usually what happens is a kid will go to college, raised by a good family. They get out of college, and they're a liberal. They got all these crazy ideas. Back in the 60s and early 70s, it was that anti-Vietnam thing. These days, it's like Antifa, BLM. But what would happen was they'd get out in the work world, and a couple years after that, when they're in the real world, they would wake up and grow up and get out of that mindset. When they start doing it in K through 12, as opposed to just the 4 years of college, they know no other way. And corporations are having big trouble right now with these snowflake kids, with the indoctrination that's been going on in public education and college. They run up against a difficulty at work, and they're in human resources talking about racism and sexual harassment and everything else, these days. Corporations can barely function with everything that's going on with this new wokeness that is happening. And, the local schools have always had parental input. Always. This is not new. What's new is they've been beating up parents at school board meetings, and it's been on television. That Loudoun County School Board was just an ongoing thing. And what led up to that was the lockdowns. A lot of parents had no idea what their kids were being taught and exposed to in public school. Hold on, guys. Until the distance learning started happening. When schools started educating kids by Zoom and parents started to see what was going on inside the classroom, a lot of meltdowns happened. They didn't realize what was going on. And the parents are the ones who were really woke, not these liberals. And the parents said, whoa, this is crazy. And they're getting involved in it. And I'm telling you right now, they're putting together the textbooks for next year. Next year in this country, there will be social studies and civic and American government textbooks that will have images of the Viking shaman from January 6th. The Capitol breach will be in the textbooks. If they're not already, they might be in this school year for all I know. But by next year, the first school textbooks with the Capitol breach will be in there. The liberals write the history, they write the books, they write the civics, and they've got this new clever thing to turn high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools into liberal indoctrination centers, and it's been stopped because it's been exposed. All right, listen, we're going to take our first break of the last hour. Those of you on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back right after this.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers at Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them
Steve Kane Show. All right, I'll take you after the break. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. I am fading fast, guys. Steve left me.
business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck
Steve Kane Show.
you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
At AJ's Natural Shop at Festival Marketplace, you will find the best vitamins, herbs, and everything natural at amazingly low prices. I'm Anita, one of the owners of AJ's. My 20-plus years in the natural products industry has allowed me to make contacts with the top supplement and health food manufacturers throughout the country. So even if you can't find your favorite item at AJ's, just ask. I can get it for you at a great price. Call AJ's today, 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All righty, welcome back, everyone. Back to our phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes. Good morning, Brian. Happy holidays to both you and Steve.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I'm hoping you're feeling, better and so forth. But my biggest question is,
the butt. Here we go.
President Trump made our country great, and he will make our country great. Why are they going after him? It just
Well, when you say they, who's the they you're talking about? Be specific.
Brad,
The who?
media,
The media?
yeah.
Well, do you mean the people that have always been attacking him, or do you mean, like I was talking today about Alex Jones and Candace Owens going after him? Are you talking about the new people going after him, or the media?
Yeah, they're bringing up the past, and they're attacking him. What if they look at what's going on in the real White House?
Well, when you say the media, because the media is an extension of the deep state. I mean, that's the way it is. The media, the national media, the mainstream media, an extension of the deep state, so they have that agenda. Now, so far as Candace Owens and Alex Jones, what I was talking about is Alex Jones is throwing Trump under the bus right before he has to go testify at the January 6th committee. I'm assuming there's a connection there.
But it's just been so ongoing since he left the White.
Well, every Republican president. Well, no, slow down. Every Republican president has had the media go after them. They usually, when the president leaves, like Reagan, both Bushes, when the presidents leave the White House, they usually leave them alone. The difference with Trump is he's still running. That's why they're going after him.
And a friend of mine I was talking about this morning is that he doesn't have the donors. He doesn't have the people that were backing him up. He was,
Trump never had the donors. Trump ran his campaign on individual donations for the most part, small individual donations.
It just baffles me. Why? It just baffles me.
Because he's a threat to their power.
I find that a threat to the power.
Yeah. It's their country. We're just living in it.
But I just wanted to also say about the mask mandate. I'm in property management.
I can't understand what you're very muffled now. I can't understand what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
No? Okay. I'm in property management. I'm on property. I have not been vaccinated. Yes, I wear a mask when I go out to, it was like spring break this past weekend. 3 times I've been COVID tested negative. I may have the S spot. I don't know. I'm among people all day. So, I'm debating whether to get, the vaccine.
Well, I don't tell anybody what to do when it comes to that. That's like President Trump. It's up to you what to do.
Exactly. That's what I just wanted to say. I mean, I've been COVID tested 3 times negative. I'm amongst people all day. And, it's our freedom is what we need to do. And to be safe.
Well, that's the Trump and Ron DeSantis position. That's the MAGA position. It's an individual choice and no mandate.
The governor, he is phenomenal.
Oh, if that guy Andrew Gillum, who was found passed out on the floor with a male prostitute at Miami Beach, became our governor, we'd still be locked down.
I don't even want to think about that.
It's scary, isn't it? It's scary. And that was a close race. You know, Ron DeSantis was a relative unknown and wasn't doing that well until President Trump came out and supported him. And boy, thank the Lord above that President Trump came out and endorsed Ron DeSantis, or we would have been done in Florida. I mean, look what's going on the roads. How many out-of-state plates are you seeing? And
Sir, I live in Deerfield, and I drive up Boynton and Boca Raton, Boca Raton and Boynton. I see a lot of Pennsylvania, New York.
A lot.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see California plate. And the thing is, snowbird season is after the first of the year, after Christmas, after the first, because people up north want to be with their families. The northerners have been here before Christmas, and the roads are filled. And I just wish that they would tell them when they cross the state line that you can turn right on a red light in Florida unless there's a sign that tells you can't, because that's pissing me off. Okay, but other than that, the out-of-state plates are at an all-time high in Florida outside of the snowbird season. Absolutely, and it's because there's a mass migration. Yeah.
Brian, what really scares me, dear God, I hope it doesn't turn blue this state.
No, in fact, they're registering as Republicans for the most part, because Ron DeSantis keeps very close attention to this. For the first time ever in the history of Florida, registered Republicans outnumber registered Democrats. And that increase is because of the migration. There's a mass migration going on in this country today that we've not seen since the end of the Civil War, and that are people Pennsylvania, Minnesota, California, New York, and elsewhere migrating to Florida and Texas.
I mean, my only fear was that it was going to go blue.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. First off, I was afraid of that too, but the voter registrations show it. They come down here and register to vote right away.
I'm going to cut you off, real.
All right. Well, hey, listen, thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah, I've been listening to your broadcast. This is Augustino.
Yes, Augustino.
Just catching up on what's new in the world, and you have it all. But
that's right.
I want to ask you a question.
Here we go.
It concerns Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, okay.
Elon Musk, he does not like Biden at all, but I think he likes Trump.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what do you think about that?
About what? About Elon Musk?
Yeah, what do you think about Elon Musk? I mean,
I think it's what Elon Musk, the richest African American, the wealthiest African American by far. I think he's awesome and pretty cool. I mean, I support pretty much everything he does. I mean, I haven't seen him do anything I would disapprove of. Yeah, in fact, you're talking about SpaceX. A few months back, I watched SpaceX take off right out of the radio station window. I have a video of it on YouTube. It was amazing. Elon Musk, you can see the launches here. When they're at night, when it's dark. It was early in the morning, the sun wasn't up yet. But Elon Musk has restarted the American manned space program out of NASA here in Florida. Yeah, so he's awesome. He doesn't like Democrats because he's a businessman. And all that, look at how he paid this past year, I think $12 billion with a B, $12 billion in taxes with a B, just in taxes. That's crazy. Trump's, that's more money than Trump is worth. Trump is worth $10 billion. Elon Musk paid $12 billion in taxes, and he's got this huge operation going on in Florida. I went up to NASA a few months ago. I talked about this. I made a YouTube video of it. And NASA, that was dead up there. And now you go up there because of Elon Musk and SpaceX. There's all kinds of new companies that are there at Cape Kennedy, private companies building rockets and doing things and satellites and everything. It's amazing. He's reignited the whole space program, Elon Musk. That may be why they hate him. One of the reasons they hate him is because he's brought back American dominance in space. They liked it when the Chinese can send men up and the Russians can send men up. I guess, Elizabeth Warren, they don't like it when America can send men up on her own.
Do you realize that he's going to have his own phone company?
I saw that. Yeah, he's coming out with his own phone. Yes, I saw that.
That's incredible.
I know. All right, hey, listen, Agostino, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, 34 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers and Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear the slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress.
Jacqueline, $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Pro-life, pro-Trump, pro-Jesus, period. That's right. I should get Kathy, my wife, to make a T-shirt. Pro-life, pro-Trump, pro-Jesus, period. I like that. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Hey, turn off the radio. Hold on. Everyone thank Jacqueline for that. I like that one. Pro-life, pro-Trump, pro-Jesus, period. That's a good one.
Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel.
I should have bought an extra. Tomorrow I'll bring an extra couple of Dayquils.
Call the Siegel Law with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All righty, we are back 37 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah, good morning. You're on the air. Once. Yes.
New Mexico.
All right. New Mexico on the line. What's up, New Mexico?
Hey, love your show.
Here we go. Yes. Here we go. Yes.
No one mentions New Mexico ever. How corrupt it is in this state. How corrupt, more corrupt than. And I grew up in Detroit, so Detroit is like.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what it is. Detroit, wherever Democrats run things, you will find corruption. If Democrats run it, it's corrupt.
Started Patriot Street.
Okay. Okay. I knew. I know you guys didn't hear what they said at the end, but I heard it. I knew from the first syllable. It's a skill I have. I used to be opposed to police officers profiling people, but when I was younger and leaned to the left, like, how could they profile people? And then I realized after doing this job for many, many years, I can tell by the way somebody says hello, the first syllable out of their mouth, if I've never heard them before, I know exactly where they're going to go. That's why I say here.
You carry that with you.
I love how they say this, because you are the first. That's code words, coded language. First, black female vice president. That glass ceiling was already broken by having the first black president of the United States, Barack Obama. And I was talking about this on my podcast. Before Barack Obama came on the scene, we would talk about, when we're going to have a black president, et cetera, et cetera. And when it finally happened, when we finally had a black president, it was like no big deal. It was kind of like just a natural progression of things. If it had been the 80s or the 70s or the 90s, people were like, wow, black, maybe not the 90s, but, if it was 70s or the 80s, like, wow, big deal. But when Barack Obama became president, it just seemed like a natural progression to have a black president. I didn't vote for him either time, but you know what I mean? And with Kamala Harris, it's not a big deal that we have a lady vice president. It just isn't. Again, if this was 30, 40, 50 years ago, people might say, wow, but it's no big deal, especially when you have one they can't name an accomplishment. But anyway, let's get back to it. Kamala with Face the Nation over the weekend.
You said that you feel the responsibility because you are the first and that you carry that with you. What does that mean for what you actually see as your biggest accomplishment?
Well, that's a great question.
Now, this is my favorite. When someone says, whenever somebody is asked a question and they say, that's a great question, or I'm so glad you asked that question, or thank you for asking that, that means they're screwed. They're using those milliseconds to try to think of an answer because they don't have one and they're like really worried.
Or what you actually see as your biggest accomplishment?
Well, that's a great question.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell you one thing. When I go to an event, whatever it is, and some dad or some mom brings their kids, daughters, sons, and says, that's your vice president, and challenges their kids to think about who does what, as a way, I think, of empowering their kids to know they can do anything they want.
Wow, yeah, you can be Willie Brown's girlfriend too. So her biggest accomplishment is just being her. Her biggest accomplishment is she walks into a room and moms and dads point to her and say, that's your vice president. You can do that too. You can find some sugar daddy like Willie Brown and, date a married man and you can become that too. Her biggest accomplishment is just being her. Well, let's see what else she has to say.
Event, whatever it is, and some dad or some mom brings their kids, daughters, sons, and says, that's your vice president. And challenges their kids to think about who does what, as a way, I think, of empowering their kids to know they can do anything they want, not be confined by who has traditionally done what.
Where's the accomplishment, Kamala?
That's one of the things that gives me joy, is to know that might be a possible impact. And then in terms of the work, I mean, it's so wide-ranging. It's everything from, again, what we talked about in terms of maternal health. I love electric vehicles. I'm a geek when it comes down to it. And what we have the capacity to do, again.
Oh, well, she's a geek. And she's really into electric vehicles. Then why don't you use them, Kamala? Do you own one? Do you drive in them? I don't think so. Oh, my goodness. And at first, when I first saw this, I thought, Face the Nation, CBS, they're liberal. They didn't realize, they asked a softball question, your biggest accomplishment. She can't think of one. And then I started thinking, everyone knows that Kamala doesn't have any accomplishments. I'm starting to wonder about this, if CBS's Face the Nation was not trying to make her look stupid. Everyone knows she has no accomplishments. I'm a woman. That's my accomplishment. You didn't do that. It just so happened. You know, it's a really... I don't feel bad for Kamala Harris, but I almost feel bad for her because I think she's terrified. You know, when you have Biden saying, let's go Brandon, all right? When Biden's saying, let's go Brandon, which is Biden saying, F you, Joe Biden, because that's what it means, she might have to take over the big shoes. She might have to, step in at some point. I think she's terrified of that. And because she gets that same briefing Biden does well, I don't know if they brief Biden. She gets the same briefing that all the other presidents used to get, right? She gets that presidential daily briefing. And now she knows what's really going on, and I think it scares her. Her biggest fear, I think, is that. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break, come back with the Gold Report. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig, back right after this. Do not go anywhere.
This is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope.
All right, 13 minutes to go.
Concrete restoration, impact windows.
If I had another 2 Dayquil to take, I would have been fine. But this last hour has been rough. But I'm better than I was yesterday, so I'm definitely on the mend.
Customer videos at LaportaContracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it's time for the first Gold Report of the week from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca. William Youngerman on the line. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Looking good, Brian.
Awesome.
Pretty stable after last week's nice gains. We saw gold finally close above 1,800 last week and stay above 1,800 for a couple, 3 days, giving us some base building there. We saw gold close out the week, which was an early closing for Thursday, and it closed up $5.20 last Thursday at $1,809.20. While silver was up 7 cents at $22.86 the ounce. Platinum gained $8 last week at $9.71. Palladium, the big winner, up $62 on Thursday at $1,886. This morning we got gold back up, down $2.20 right now at $1,807. Silver down 6 cents at $22.80 the ounce. Platinum down $13 at $9.58. Palladium up $26 at $1,912. So pretty stable and still in a great buying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, I know a lot of people, they see these numbers, 1,800 plus, and think that, well, I can't afford to get in on. Actually, you don't have to have $1,800. You don't have to buy it an ounce at a time. There's fractional gold. What's the smallest amount of gold that somebody could come over to William Youngerman's and buy?
Well, standardly speaking, we handle 1/10, quarter, half, and 1 ounce size coins. There are bars that go as small as 1 gram. However, we don't necessarily recommend paying the high premium that you would pay for gold to buy this very small gram bars. Therefore, what we do suggest is buy silver, buy the same kind of hedge, and it'll reward you greatly. And then if you get too much silver, you can always trade it in for some smaller or an ounce of gold.
That, a lot of people do that. A lot of people, they buy silver, and then it builds up. It builds up because silver is much more affordable, and they trade it in for a gold coin down the road. It's an awesome thing to do. Listen, William Youngerman, open weekdays at 10 a.m. What are your hours this week?
We will be open regular hours, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday we'll close probably at noon.
Okay. So regular hours, Monday through Thursday, close early on Friday this week. They open up at 10 a.m. Give them a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, online, williamyoungerman.com, or stop right in. 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto on the first floor of the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, have a great day. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care, guys. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE1 is the number. I was just looking online, CNN. See, this Candace Owens thing now is becoming big on CNN as we start a new news cycle. And CNN has a headline right at the top of their website right now. Candace Owens tries to explain away Trump's vaccine remark, and they're trying to get some spin on this, that Candace Owens is trying to defend Trump and help Trump. If this is a defense, first off, President Trump does not need Candace Owens, me, or anyone else explaining his remarks. Okay? President Trump does a fine job of explaining himself. Now, I played this in the first hour, but let me play it again for those that missed this. This was really troubling for me. Candace Owens did an interview last week with President Trump, and then after, where she was very rude and interrupted him quite a bit, and then after the interview, Candace Owens later in the week went to Instagram and made a video that is one of the nastiest attacks I've ever heard on President Trump by a conservative. Pretty bad. I mean, this is how like Mitt Romney would talk about President Trump. This is Candace Owens after her Trump interview talking about President Trump.
And he believes that because he comes from a generation.
Steve Kane Show.
Oftentimes forget how old.
Hey, Anita,
Trump
hold on.
is.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
From a generation. I've seen other people that are older have the exact same perspective. Like, they came from a time before TV, before internet, before being able to conduct their independent research, and everything that they read in a newspaper that was pitched to them, that they believed that was a reality. And one of those things was, this push for vaccines and believing that people were going to die without vaccines. And so I believe that his support of the vaccine is genuine and it's not based on any corruption at all. I think he actually believes those things. And people that are saying, how is he ignoring all the people that are being injured? And, people are sending Rumble videos and all of these, websites, obscure websites. I believe also that he only reads the mainstream media news. Believe it or not, I do not believe that Trump reads or partakes in any other news sources. I don't believe that Trump is on the internet or that he necessarily uses the web to try to find obscure websites. I think that he just relies on typical mainstream sources. So I don't think that there's anything evil going on there. I just wanted to say that because so many donors, supporters of his are kind of like questioning where all this is coming from, and I think he just genuinely believes that, and he needs to sit down and have a full conversation with someone. I was interviewing him in that circumstance, but he needs to have a larger conversation to really understand what's going on and why so many people are just horrified.
Okay, so horrified. Who's horrified at Trump that's a Trump supporter? Listen, his position is clear, right? Vaccine is a choice, and he's opposed to mandates. And they're trying to say that she's not attacking him. She said he is old. People don't even realize how old he is. She says he was born before television, which is not true. She said he was born before the internet. He doesn't spend his time going to obscure websites. He's not informed. She's talking about him the same way that Katie Couric talked to Sarah Palin. Remember that interview? Katie Couric sat down with Sarah Palin. What do you read? Where do you get your worldview? That's how she's talking about President Trump. It's okay to disagree with President Trump. I'll never do it. It's okay, but if she's not just disagreeing with President Trump, she's saying he's old, he's uninformed, he doesn't read, and she even suggests he might be corrupt. That's not a disagreement. And if that's not attacking the man, I don't know what is. All right, now it's time to check in with Anita, Janet Cimarelli's partner over at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. Anita, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Now, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop was open on Christmas and the whole weekend. How'd that go?
Well, great. We had a lot of visitors and a lot of Steve Kane.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, you can spend a day over at the festival.
There.
Yeah.
Court is always bustling.
Oh, Steve loves that food court. Steve and I have been, Steve and I for many years, Steve and I will have because we're in different parts of town and we'll have to get together on occasion. And many a day we've met for lunch at the food court, which is right across from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace.
And if you are going to get one of those pieces of pizza or some of the Chinese food, you may want to stop at AJ's first and get some digestion.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. So what's going on at AJ's this week, Anita?
Well, for all of those who have overindulged during the holidays, we have plenty of weight loss products there at the store and metabolism boosters and whole body flushes and cleansers. So I just want to let everybody know they can reset their system after the holidays if you stop by AJ's and check out our great selection at really low prices.
I'll tell you, AJ's, Anita and Janet Cimarelli are partners. Anita's the A, Janet's the J, and AJ's Natural Wellness Shop. And Steve and I have met Janet Cimarelli back in 1998. She introduced us to vitamins, nutraceuticals, all-natural wellness and everything back in 1998. And we've dealt over the years with different, vitamin shops. And I've heard, Anita, over the years, a lot of times women will start a business and they make a big deal about, a female-owned business. And I never really thought that much about it until AJ's Natural Wellness Shop joined us here on the Steve Kane Show. And I've noticed with both you and Janet, having two women running the store, I've noticed that the things that you offer are more useful than in the past. I get women are more practical when it comes to health and wellness, I think. And every day when you and Janet are talking about the different products and things you're doing over at AJ's, it just seems more practical, everyday things that we could all use in the health and wellness field of things.
I would say probably about 80% of the shoppers out there, regardless of what store they're in, are usually the women or who's running a household or shopping for a family, so they're looking out for everybody.
That's right.
What we want for ourselves and our families and just want to share all of that.
That's right. That's right. Now, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace is real easy to find. First off, everyone knows the festival just east of the Turnpike, south side of Sample Road in Pompano. Go in the main entrance and head back towards the food court. And right before the food court, look west, boom, you see the information booth. AJ's is right there across from the information booth. You can't miss it. Now, you can also order by phone if you can't make it into AJ's. Maybe you're local and you don't drive. Or maybe you're out of town and you can't make it to the festival. They'll ship to you anywhere. And you can also use this number to make an appointment to have a no-charge consultation with Janet Cimarelli, who's a licensed nutrition counselor. 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. That's AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. All right, Anita, have a great day. We'll talk next time.
You too. Thanks so much.
All right, take care. Take care. All right, hopefully Steve will be back with us tomorrow. We will be here live all week long, including New Year's Eve on Friday. Okay, we'll be here all week long. My name's Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll be back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. All right, guys. That's it. Got through it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Before you go, make sure you like the video. And if you're new, subscribe. And, well, thank you, Itchy Brain. And, I mean, now, just before we go, though, don't go yet. Am I being too hard on Candace Owens? Let me ask you. This is the question. Not am I being too hard on her. That's not the question. Here's the question. Is Candace Owens helping Trump? 1. Not helping Trump? 2. With what she did. Is 1 helping Trump? 2, she's not helping Trump with that. 1 is yes, she's helping Trump. 2 is no. Did I get it backwards? No. 1 is not helping. 2 is helping. 1, cancel! It's the cold. 1, not helping. 2, helping. 1 is not helping. 2, helping. I got them backwards. Start over. I screwed everything up. Little mix there. Not helping is 1. Hey.
You all right?
Yeah, just got a cold.
I know that. He heard you, my replacement, heard you make a loud noise or something and...
Make a loud noise?
I don't know.
No.
I didn't hear.
No loud noises. Well, that's okay that you missed the question because I got the answer screwed up. Okay. Let's do it again. Stop. No numbers. No numbers. No numbers. We'll do words because I screwed that one up. I'm going to blame the cold. The guy from the radio station came over and asked if I was okay. Do I sound all right? Do I sound off? It's going to be yes or no. Candace Owens is helping Trump. Yes or no with that statement. Helping Trump. Yes or no. Forget the numbers. Yes, she's helping. No, she's not. Yes or no. The question is Candace Owens helping Trump? Yes or no with that video. Let's do it over. Not helping. Okay, that's better. I screwed up the first one. Well, you know what they say about intentions, Robert? Well, I don't want to have somebody important that's doing damage. No numbers. It's either yes or no. Yes, she's helping. No, she's not. Yes, she's helping. No, she's not. No, people do care what she thinks. That's why it's important. All right, well, so we got some good responses. Now that we got the poll correct, oh my goodness. Well, Captain Jethro, he says, a lot of no's. It's mixed, but I think the no's have it. Many more no's than yeses. Yep. All right, guys. Hey, listen. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you. It's better that Trump find out who really backs him as opposed later, like next year in 2022. That is right on the money, Wesley. That's well said. Well said. Well, don't let good looks. There's a lot of pretty people out there that we don't agree with, right? Just because someone's good looking doesn't mean they're right. Yeah, Wesley's right on with that. Wonder what Trump thinks of what she said. You know, Omarosa was a big supporter of Trump's, and then she turned. Exactly. I'd wait a bit before judging. Well, okay. One of the things that really ticks me off about it is it shows a weakness to the Democrats. That's why CNN's running with it. You know, because it shows a weakness. And that's something we don't want. And our CNN's already running with it. I told you over the weekend, Smear Kanish opened up the segment with, has Trump lost touch with his base? And he was pointing to Candace Owens. And the Candace Owens video right now is right at the top of the CNN website. I'm sure they're going to run with that today. And they're going to use that. They've been desperate for a long time to have a weakness. And now they think they got something. And you know, you can tell by, you know, the differences with some of the people here in the chat room that that's something that they can try to exploit. I don't know if I need her to explain her comment. I think she was pretty clear on what she said, Bill. I mean, don't you? I think she was pretty clear. You know? Hey guys, I gotta run. You're right about that, Jacqueline, no doubt about it. I gotta run. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. I appreciate it, everyone. Please like the video before you go. And if you're new, subscribe, all right? We may not always agree, but that's okay. We don't know. It's America. We all have a right to an opinion. It's America. But I think we agree on the big picture, don't we? Trump's awesome. Who disagrees with that? All right, I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks for watching.